Hi, my name is Pam Goldberg, and I'm a targeted individual. I'm doing a docu-series on targeting and how it has affected my life. I've been a target for approximately 5 years, and it has disintegrated my life, and I think it's time for me to tell my story in hopes that maybe it could help somebody else. And I'm going to talk a little bit today in my first video ever about where it originated and some of the tactics and just a little bit of a summary. So I hope you'll bear with me, knowing this is my first video. It's not easy and the subject matter is not easy, but today's will be a little easier than the rest of it, I promise you. Everything to do with targeting originated with the Stasi and the Nazis. Everything is from the Nazis. It is a Nazi war criminal program brought to the United States. Who was the Stasi? The Stasi was an aggressive police agency that terrorized the East German people until the fall of the Iron Curtain. And Markus Wolfe, the former head of the Stasi, helped form DHS and assisted in the deployment within the United States of covert and overt tactics utilized by the Stasi to oppress the East German people. So it originated in Nazi Germany, and the founder helped to form DHS. The FBI, DHS, and NSA are now engaged in utilizing unconstitutional Stasi techniques called Zersetzung, and a huge civilian spy branch has already been deployed in the United States for more than 7 decades. A lot of this information is going to be shocking to some people, and I hope to shed light on it and inform as many people as I can. Zersetzung was a form of psychological harassment that was designed to wreak havoc on the individual without any arrest or torture of the target. As the German historians have told us, the word is difficult to translate because it means originally biodegradation. I'm going to talk a lot about degradation, the degradation of society. But actually, it's quite an accurate description. The goal was to destroy secretly the self-confidence of people, for example, by damaging their reputation, by organizing failures in their work, and by destroying their personal relationships. Considering this, East Germany was a very modern dictatorship. Modern in that it is still going on today. So the fact that it was taking place in East Germany at that time, they're calling it modern. The Stasi didn't try to arrest every dissident. It preferred to paralyze them. And it could do so because it had access to so much personal information and so many institutions. You may already see some of these things deployed here in the United States. And we'll go into that in a few minutes. And what would these techniques be? Some of them were semi-overt. The Stasi would arrange, for example, for your work to go poorly, though the causes might not be known to the subject of the attack. The effects were pretty evident. Or it would sometimes spread rumors about the target among his or her friends and colleagues. Stories of maybe alcoholism, parental neglect, anything they can come up with. The Stasi technique is about messing with the mind. Sometimes the Stasi would play mischievous mind games with the target. They might, for example, enter his or her home and move the furniture around, or they might change the time on the alarm clock or replace tea bags with a different kind of tea bag. This is gaslighting, and I'm sure most of you are familiar with that term. Other tactics were similarly abusive. Reports exist of the Stasi arranging for a target to deliberately get incorrect medical treatment or to receive doctored photographs purporting to show him in compromising positions. This is really the precursor to what is going on here. It is so much more advanced and depraved today that I'm just trying to show you the advancements in the terror that has come to the United States. Now, I said that they deployed it here for over 7 decades. Targeting is a multi-billion-dollar and illegal program which funnels funds to InfraGard and private security companies run by the ex-FBI, ex-DEA, and ex-DOD employees. Anyone that has been placed on a watch list is a potential target for data theft, cyber harassment, break-ins, usually no sign of forced entry, vandalism, overt harassment, covert harassment, slander, their favorite, destruction of personal and professional relationships, economic sabotage, and stalking everywhere that you go. All of these activities are coordinated from different playbooks from different countries. The one I'm going to concentrate on is called the Gang Stalking Manual. How apropos. What I just read to you does not scratch the surface of what I will be telling you and showing you. The purpose of this video is to talk about my personal journey and how it has been so destructive in my life to the point of disintegration. And it's the most invasive thing that can ever happen to you. And when you hear it, you need to be prepared. So this is setting it up a little bit so you'll have an idea. I'm not here to sugarcoat anything. I'm not here to tell wild stories. It's the truth. I will read you the tactics, and I will show you corresponding pictures, videos, play audios, whatever I have to show you how real it is. I will read to you expert testimony from 30-year veterans of these agencies and whistleblowers and activists and anti-vaxxers and the people that are primarily placed on these lists. What I just read about the tactics are called soft kill methods that ruin the lives of innocent American citizens while leaving a negligible footprint. Little to no evidence of the harassment and unconstitutional activity perpetrated by the rogue factions within the U.S. government. Rogue is the operative word of the day. I will use it 1,000,000 times because I don't want to misrepresent the good people in these agencies, the wonderful military that we have, the wonderful first responders that we have, because it is the rogue within these agencies and within our government that are responsible for this. And it certainly is not everyone. There are wonderful people in every profession. We have the best people in this country, the most generous people, and the kindest people in this country. But there is a rogue element. And when I spoke about the word biodegradation earlier, you will, as a target, you see firsthand the degradation of society. It is mind-blowing to see how many people will participate against their fellow man and their neighbor for money. It's all about money. The Stasi utilized the same tactics, albeit their reach was more limited than the illegal program being run today, and that is because of technological limitations. In this day and age, the high level of integration of smartphones, computers, and tablets has facilitated the government's illegal spying program and helped strip Americans of their constitutional rights. We know all this already, brought to you by Edward Snowden in the summer of 2013. Every single thing that he said is the absolute truth. And how do we know it's the truth? We know it's the truth because he's living in Russia. He can't come back. If he's pardoned and he comes back, he will be hit with directed energy. There's no way they're going to let him come back to this country scot-free. It's not going to happen. Assange, same thing. It's not going to happen. We know these people are telling the truth. And I can tell you from personal experience and show you, because I don't expect anybody to believe anything without proof. It's an infiltration that is so deep and so disturbing that no matter what the cost is to me coming forward, although I'm by no means the only person, there's many that have told their stories. Everything that Edward Snowden has said is the truth. Every phone call, every text, and every email they have. Always remember that. They could get to it like that. And that wasn't the original purpose of collecting information with the Patriot Act after 9/11. They missed a lot. They missed a lot of signals. They missed a lot of evidence. They missed a lot of data that these terrorists were here. And that gave us the Fusion Center, because the state, local, and federal agencies were not sharing information. I don't know if everybody remembers all of this going on at the time, that we were going to lose a little of our rights, but it was worth it because of what happened. We don't want it to happen again. Preventatively, we're going to have to lose a little bit of our rights and freedoms. And at that time, it was useful. And there was a reason. But there is no longer a reason. And we have now 80 fusion centers that need to justify their budgets of $550 billion. And if there are no domestic terrorists, and very few foreign, what is happening? Nothing's happening. How are they going to justify those budgets? By putting people that don't deserve to be on this list be put on a list, i.e. the parents at the school board meeting voicing their grievance about the critical race theory curriculum, and they didn't want it implemented in their school. And whatever you believe about critical race theory, or wanting your children to learn or not learn, or regardless of that, those of you that are parents listening to this, we've all gone to school board meetings. When was anybody ever put on a domestic terrorism list for voicing their opinion? It's out there. Google it. YouTube it. Go to any search engine. You will find it. These parents are horrified. They formed a committee and put these people on a domestic terrorism list. We are on, the people that I'm going to speak about, the great majority are on as non-investigative subjects. I'll go into how they're chosen and who put you on a list and all of that. We'll deep dive into that. But right now, I just wanted to just give you I digressed a little bit too much, but it's important to know that our rights and that are afforded us under the Constitution and the Bill of Rights are being eroded right now. And nobody is really, I've never come in contact with anybody more patriotic or who loves their country more than targeted individuals. It is with a heavy heart that we are coming forward having to say this. This is a blemish. This country is the greatest in the world, but this is the worst thing since slavery. And nobody is talking about it. Very few, and I will talk about the people that are the heroic people in this country and in our government that are cheerleading for us. We are now living in a police-style state where innocent Americans can be put on a pre-crime-styled watch list. Think the movie Minority Report. As potential domestic threats or potential domestic terrorists via decisions in a closed-door kangaroo court referred to as the Star Chamber. I really don't want to digress too much, so I was just going to interject, but it will just take me way off, and I only have a certain amount of time. This is important, very critical. There is no due process in these decisions. Victims have no idea of what they have been accused of, and the DOJ has ordered local, state, and federal law enforcement, meaning the FBI, to stand down when complaints are made regarding any of the aforementioned illegal activities. I want you to either watch this over again or get a pen and paper, and there's going to be YouTubes that I want you to watch that are exactly what I'm referring to. It's already out there. I'm just trying to take information from here, and put it under this one umbrella because it is all pertinent and relevant to targeting. It has to be done for people to really understand what is happening and the groups of people that are persecuted, and they're under this umbrella as well, because the tactics that they use to persecute certain groups are exactly the same. So the YouTube I'm going to refer you to is Trey Gowdy. Trey Gowdy was a fabulous congressman from South Carolina who is talking about no due process. And the name of the YouTube, you put in the search bar, Trey Gowdy grills DHS employee, and he takes her to task. It's beautiful and it's brilliant. Why is Trey Gowdy no longer in Congress? Because he was so effective. You can go through every Trey Gowdy video, and if you're not familiar with him, he is a firecracker and just demanded justice and didn't take anything from anyone. And this woman is frightened from the DHS. Publicly, okay, so who is on the watch list? What people are watch listed in this country? I'll read what this article says, and then I will add. Politically outspoken individuals, academics, activists, investigative journalists, NRA members, veterans, which it's really sad, there are a lot of veterans, anti-abortion protesters, Tea Party members, conservatives, Donald Trump supporters, and I will add the number one, whistleblowers. anti-vaxxers, people that file complaints with any federal agency. A lot of this is going to sound a little strange to you, but it's the truth. If you want a divorce and your ex doesn't want to pay alimony, and they know somebody in the federal government, rather than him or her having to pay alimony to you, it's easier to put them on a list, and a watch list, non-investigative subject list, domestic terrorism list. It's all the same. You're watch listed. So he can destroy or she can destroy your life and doesn't have to pay alimony. It's the same thing with child custody cases. If you have intellectual property somebody wants, they'll go after you and they'll find something, because all of this is based on falsified documents, fraudulent FISA warrants, fraudulent everything. And the perfect example is Donald Trump colluded with the Russians. It's being investigated now by John Durham. Somebody came up with the Steele dossier. It has since been debunked 100%. They found zero after $20 million, and Carter Page, Papadopoulos, Manafort, Roger Stone, General Flynn, and I don't know if I'm leaving anybody else out, went to jail. They went to prison based on a false dossier. I mean, I'm going to tell you things that you're just going to, your head is going to spin around, because when you start to see these things as a packaged presentation, you will understand exactly what I'm talking about. People that have property abroad, people that think outside of the box, which is what I'm trying to explain to you. You have to try to pull all of these things together. Always keep your ears open. Always listen for what pertains to what I'm talking about. Wow, that sounds like it really would help this video. And so people that think outside the box. Americans that are married to foreigners, world travelers, scholars who research the military, subjects, whistleblowers. I said that already. Okay. This is not at all an all-exhaustive, all-inclusive list. Rogue factions within the federal government do not like, this is a very important paragraph, rogue factions within the federal government do not like empowered individuals. They don't like independent thinkers who cannot be shuffled around and manipulated like mindless sheep. They want malleable people who are easy to influence and who will drink the Kool-Aid without questioning what the special recipe really is. That's 100% right. Anybody who threatens the agenda that is going on today can be put on a list. But this, mind you, this has been going on for over 7 decades. So it's not just this administration. It's already at 24 minutes, so I don't have a lot of time. But gang stalking, aka post 9/11, COINTELPRO, is really a culling program, which has been implemented by the government in an attempt to control or nullify empowered people, natural leaders, intellects, or anyone else who they feel threatens their agenda, which consists of leveraging more power over the American public while simultaneously destroying our constitutional rights. This is a very important paragraph as well. Most law enforcement and intelligence personnel are decent people and deserve our respect. However, there is a very rotten, thuggish, and corrupt 2% which is destroying America like an invisible plague via illegal data interception and street-level domestic intelligence operations, which equate to organized stalking and harassment against innocent Americans, utilizing, we're coming back now, to the Stasi's Zersetzung tactics. This is where it originated. It's here now. It's out of control. I want to prove it to you. I want you to see, hear, smell, taste, understand this inside and out, because it affects not only you, but your families and your children, and growing up in a world that is entirely different than what we once knew. And as I said, it is only the rogue. It is only the rogue. There are wonderful, wonderful people. And I want everybody to remember that. And that's why I felt I need to preface everything by saying I so respect law enforcement, and it actually breaks my heart that, if I'm followed by an officer, or it's very sad. It's very sad. And I'm going to go deeply into the tactics and really the terrorization of what goes on, and right under your nose. And unless you're looking for it, you would not even know it was happening. And unless it happens to you, it's really hard to believe. And that is my job, is to point out everything so you can see it. And maybe you can help somebody if they need you. I'm going to end it here, and I'm going to say thank you for listening. I'm going to watch it over and hopefully it's okay and I can upload it to YouTube. I want everybody to stay safe, and I want to say God bless everyone, because that's what people need in their lives, and I don't want to preach, but it has helped me tremendously to get through this. God, all glory to God. And thank you. Thank you for listening. And if it wasn't really good, I'm sorry. Hopefully the next one will be better. And look for it. My channel, I should have said this at the beginning, is called Targeting Nana. And as we go on, you will understand what's happened in my life. And if I say another word, I'm going to cry. So this is it. Okay, peace out.